All right, today we are taking a look at another JunkBot by Hexbug, and this time around we are looking at Pompier. He's a little elephant, and he's adorable. The main body that he's made up of, I'm not entirely sure what kind of machine this is supposed to be. I imagine it sits like this normally. I mean, it looks kind of just like a vaguely, like 1950s-esque machine, maybe some sort of vacuum or steamer or something like that. I don't know. If you have any idea what this is meant to be, let me know. But otherwise, he's a little elephant. He's got a little exit sign for his head here. Very cute. In terms of articulation, his big ears here, which somewhat creatively, but also, not as interesting. They're pieces of cardboard that are like, kind of like stuck in these little like tongs that hold them, which is like, yeah, I don't know. I like the plastic elements with these guys. I'd sort of prefer that they wouldn't, incorporate cardboard into the builds. And they kind of are just like these huge pieces that sort of get in the way of the guy. But these are on ball joints, or the little tongs that they're on are on ball joints. These cardboard pieces are meant to be just like, I don't know, big pieces of scrap metal kind of riveted together. They look okay. I'm just not thrilled about the fact that they're paper and not plastic, and they kind of, hide the whole guy, make him look a little bit cluttered. But yeah, they're on ball joints, so you can kind of move those around. The blue piece that his head is attached onto is on that like 2 ball joint section, so it doesn't really get a ton of movement, but his little exit sign head is on a ball joint, so you can wiggle that around a little bit. He's got a trunk here that is like sort of a fire hose. Pompier, I think, is a firefighter in French. I'm not sure. That's his kind of theme there. He's got a little, it's like a bendy, sort of softer plastic, so you can't really pose it or anything, but, oh, there goes his head. But it can move around. Just like with Pierre, he's got these little tusks, which are the same pieces. He's got kind of a lot in common with Pierre, being that he's a little French animal that has a little beret and has tusks. I don't know. They're kind of kindred spirits. I guess they're probably buds. But yeah, just like with Pierre, his little tusks can kind of rotate to kind of like adjust the positioning of them. The beret itself is on a ball joint, so you can kind of adjust that and make it like varying levels of tilting off of his head. He's got this little piece, which it kind of falls out really easily. It doesn't like really seat in here very well. Like if you it's not what I was trying to demonstrate, but it falls out of his head fairly easily, which is kind of annoying. But otherwise, it's all right. His little legs here, one of them is a fire extinguisher, which is very cool and definitely fits that that firefighter theme. That's just on a ball joint here and can move around. His little back leg here has got a little piece down here that's on a ball joint. It's just some pieces of scrap metal. And then up here, it's also on a ball joint, of course. For this side, this piece, which again, they're all basically just, varying pieces of mechanics and abstract scrap metal. It's got a ball joint right here at the knee and then a ball joint at the base there. This leg is just one piece, ball joint, of course. He's got a little wind-up thing here, which is pretty cool and ties into, the mechanism that moves for his motor functionality. And then his little tail, I guess, here can kind of rotate a little bit. He's got a bunch of pieces that have a tendency to kind of fall out more than some of these guys, but I think it's pretty cute. Being him with this little elephant theme here works pretty well. Let's bring on some of these motorized and LED functions. His little port to attach them is on the underside here, or it would be the back side if you had this piece upright. See, there goes his little antenna. We'll start off here with the vibrating one. You can just plug it in down there and then make him vibrate around. It kind of just ends up vibrating like some of his parts off the ball joints. There's very few of them for which I feel like the vibrating piece works like superbly well. Again, like he has kind of like a more like solid 4-legged base, so like the vibrating function doesn't really do a whole lot for him, but that's an option. For the motor function, what his mechanism is you just plug it in there and then we'll switch it on. And it makes his little wind-up thing go, which is pretty cool. If you're using this piece for other molds, or other, you know, like other configurations, it also does rotate this piece. They rotate the same way. So if you wanted to attach like arms, you can make them kind of like, you know, rotate about. That'd be a pretty cool piece of functionality, but that's the motor. For the LED one, again, you know, it's kind of awkward to have it plugged on underneath here, but where can you plug it in? For the actual body section, pretty much just at the back here to like light up these little sections. There's another one sort of behind this yellow piece to light up those. Works pretty well. It's just falling apart all over the place here. Come on, Pompier. Keep yourself together. Again, I'm not sure what it is about the particular pieces that he's made up of, but has a tendency to fall apart. You can plug it into his head. There's not really a great place to do it other than like where his antenna was plugged in. There's another one sort of like right here in the middle. So let me get one of the better ones. Come on. Again, with it being underneath, like it's sort of hard to get it actually on there. But there we go. Got that lit up as he's falling apart. Turn off my lights here so you can see what that looks like. Pretty cool. Again, you know, it's one of those ones where like the placement of the LED thing is not super ideal for like getting good sort of like access to his little LED points, but you know, it works well enough. But yeah, he's a pretty cute little guy. In terms of comparisons, here he is with Core Class Soundwave, G1 Bumblebee, just for some pretty small transformers. Here he is with a BotBot. We already saw him with Pierre, but here he is with Jack Static, the kind of like default JunkBot that we've got here. And yeah, you know, he's a cute one. He's not without issue. I would say that like most of his issues aren't so much to do with the build, but just like, I don't know, weird quality control things where like the parts just like don't stay on with him, and he's got a number of parts that don't stay on particularly well. For me, this guy is going to be an edit. The one big edit that I would make to this guy is I just take off the ears. Like they're too big. I don't mind him just like having these as like whiskers instead. I don't like that there's cardboard. I don't like that they block the majority of him. So you're only like really seeing his head when they're on there. Whereas like he's got some other fun like aesthetics with his body. Like I like his fire extinguisher arm. So personally, this is how I prefer to have him displayed. That's my edit, is I just take off the cardboard and put them into a box. But otherwise, he's a pretty cute little guy. Like I said before, you know, kind of a kindred spirit with Pierre there. They share some colors. They both have a beret. They're both tusked animals. I think they're cute together. But yeah, that's pretty much all there is to say about Pompier. If you enjoy my videos, make sure to leave a like and consider subscribing. I do reviews every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday. Without further ado, here we have Hexbug JunkBots Pompier.